So fundamental truth number one is that the field is the sole governing agency of the particle. This is something that Albert Einstein said, is that the field, and I'm going to explain this to you more, so don't worry about if you don't get this right now. The field is the sole governing agency of the particle, and that your entire body is made out of these particles, which we call electrons, protons, and neutrons. And that these particles are always tending towards disorganization unless you add energy. You see this in everyday life, especially if you got kids, right? Your house is always going into chaos unless you put in the work energy to clean it up. Same thing that's happening in your body. Your body's always tending towards disorganization. That's called the second law of thermodynamics for you physics geeks out there. Second law of thermodynamics, unless you add in energy. And that's what we need to be doing to maintain health. If we consistently supply our body with the proper amount of energy and then we're producing that energy, we create organization. This organization means this ease. Okay? And the next one is that we are part of our environment, not separate. A lot of times, and we think in our modern day society, is that we are separate from our environment. And the way that we react, and interact with our environment either promotes health or disease. And a lot of stuff that I'm going to teach you here is common knowledge when we were 2, 3, 400 years ago. This was common knowledge, but we've lost that wisdom, that ancient wisdom, because we live in this artificial world. So you guys just got to look, what kind of results are we getting in society? And we got to look at our lifestyle. Put those two together, and then you can see the lifestyle that we're leading is not an effective or conducive thing to health. So like I said, the field controls the particle. This is our true nature, right? Our true nature is that you have energy fields, which then comes into the form of atoms and molecules. Down the line, atoms and molecules bind together and form organelles, ultimately cells. Cells congregate together, they form tissues. Tissues form organs. Organs congregate together, they form systems like your digestive system, your circulatory, your nervous system, your integumentary system, your immune system. Those are conglomerations of tissues and organs, ultimately making a human. Now, the problem that we've been facing is that we don't understand this true nature. And in our healthcare system, most medical doctors, this is what we call allopathic medicine, focuses on the systems and tissues and organs and looks at their function and notes only when it's in a state of pathology or dis-ease, meaning that what happens? Those mitochondria died off already and the cells have died, or they're in a constant state of replication called cancer. And allopathic medicine looks at that, looks at the biochemical pathways and says, okay, well, this chemical pathway is putting out this response. Therefore, let's find a drug that can interfere with that pathway to stop that symptom from occurring. This is what we see in modern pharmacology. Is we see antihypertensives, anti-this, anti-that, antibacterial, right? It's all anti. It's meant to stop a physiological process. Now, that's fine and dandy if you need to just control symptoms, but can you see along this step ladder that we're not getting to the true nature of the issue? Now came along functional medicine, which functional medicine saw the problem in that and chose to focus on the cellular level. Let's now look at how the cell's functioning and the metabolic processes within the cell, which is great, right? It's a deeper look into the body. And the problem that we started running into there is functional medicine now became the new allopathic medicine, because when all of these functional tests came out, like organic acid tests and hormonal panels, all the stuff that you don't necessarily run with your medical doctor, they started seeing things at a functional level, saying, well, maybe this process is off because we're deficient in this enzyme, or we're deficient in this vitamin or mineral, which is great because now we're getting to a more natural sense. But we stopped there. And, a lot of people, and I see this day in and day out, patients come in with bags and bags of supplements because they were tested and they found that they were deficient in so many of these issues. And they're just supplementing away, which is great, by the way. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing that's wrong with that, but there's still a deeper issue there. There's still a leak in the boat. All we're doing is we're bailing out the water that's seeping into the boat. And this is what I've seen in practice. And I've practiced in the functional medicine paradigm for a long time until I started noticing, well, why are my patients actually getting better long term? We're able to get great results, but they're not getting better long term. And it's because we were never attacking it at its root fundamental level, which was the field, right? And Albert Einstein said that matter is energy whose vibration has been so lowered past to be perceptible to the senses, and that there actually is no matter, right? So I want you to think about that statement. We're going to talk about that more, and I'm going to explain what that really means. But when we look at our true nature, if we understand that the field is the sole governing of the particle, we got to look at the fields. What are the fields that's controlling the atoms, which is controlling the cells and the cell function? What's that? We got to look at that. And that's where the realm of quantum medicine comes in. And that's what you're learning today is quantum medicine. We're looking at the energetic field and how does it interplay. Now, you're not going to be an expert in quantum medicine. It takes years of that, and we're still learning about that. But you're going to understand the fundamental properties of that.